In this video, you're going to learn how to make a Magic 3D block with the basic layout. When you open your pattern, you will find 6 strips of fabric, coordinating colors, your pattern, and 8 pre-cut foam cubes. Pattern will tell you how to cut your pieces. First thing to remember is that you have to decide which colors go in which section. When your block is closed, you're going to see 3 colors, and I've laid that out as one section, and these are colors 1, 2, and 3. When you turn your block the other way, you're now going to see the other 3 colors, and these are colors 4, 5, and 6. You're going to cut according to the directions. 4 of the 6 colors have 2 large sections and 4 small. 2 of the sections have 4 large pieces. The directions are clear on that. Once you've cut your strips of fabric, you're then going to wrap each piece around some freezer paper. And your freezer paper needs to be exactly 2 by 2 or exactly 2 by 4. This is what gives you the really sharp corners. When you lay out your pieces, coordinate the directions, and now we're looking at step 1. You can see that my color 1 is the center section, and I'm sewing on color 2 small pieces. When I sew, I butt the pieces together and zigzag like this. I use a clear top thread, zigzag across, and whatever color you want on the back. Keep your stitches fairly tight, close together, and not too wide. You make those sections, sew them together. Now your whole first 3 colors have been used. Step 2, the same thing with your other 3 colors. They're identical in where they sew. Be careful where you sew only where the white arrows are on your pattern. Now we're going to move to step 3, which is the most complicated part of this whole process. So I want to illustrate this very clearly. Your pattern shows you to move the oranges together. See how you're creating this outside sew line. And I do that just by scrunching it up. See, I now have a straight edge of orange on this side. I have another one on that side. Step 4 wants you to turn this so that the inside is what you're sewing. See how when I pull this apart, I'm actually going to grab the 2 corners very much in the center of my blue, and I'm just going to pull it out like this. See how that makes a straight line? This is the line that I'm sewing to the orange. And I do that as a zigzag. When I get to this other color, lift my foot, push that out of the way, continue, push my oranges straight together, continue, stop, lift my foot, move that out of the way, and we end up exactly to the edge. You do the same thing with the other side. See how this sewing line here is going to wrap around and sew to this side of the orange. The sewing is actually step 5 and 6, 1 for one edge and 1 for the other edge. Step 7 says remove the paper, and you end up with this very odd looking thing. You think you've made a mistake. At this point you realize that you actually haven't. Now when you look at the block that's finished, you'll notice that when it's flat, there is 1 color showing. So the easiest thing to do is to select a color and start pinning your foam cubes underneath. If I were to take my red, I'm also going to pin every other color of its section. My section was red, orange, and yellow. So I'm going to just jab some pins in. You just don't have to be careful at this point. You're just holding the foam in place. You jab it in around its corner. There's the first one of the 8. Grab another one, Put it under another section of red and also pin around its corners. And then I'm going to find another section of red, and you see how the corners are going to be like that. And I'll do the same over here. And before you know it, I pinned everything that's red, all the yellows and all the oranges. When I flip it around, upside down, I tuck two colors in, and I have all the blues to pin. Then I crack it open, tuck the purple down, and then I pin all the green. In order to check the last color, to flip it around a little bit, and you'll see that everything is already done and flat. At this point, you've completed steps 8 and 9. And now you're going to replace your pins with tape. Pins, when they're in, they cause a lot of puckers like that, which makes it hard to get your corners straight. So what I do when I change the tape, I actually sew right through the tape. Now I'm using an invisible thread, double, and I work with two hands so that I can hold my piece with one hand and also hold my thread aside. So this way, when I'm sewing, I don't let my thread go until I'm right near the end, so I make sure I don't get any tangles. Make sure when you come to a corner that you fit exactly, and draw all your pieces together to make a nice square corner, and then just keep going until all your final seams have been closed up. And that's how you make the Magic 3D block the basic layout.